Good morning. Thank you all for joining us on this exceptionally gloomy and rainy day today for this Coffee with an Expat event, Art in the Lives of People of Determination. My name is Dr. Farah Sabbah. I am the group leader of the POD Moms Support Group, and I'm also a mother of a child of determination. And my professional background is in English language education and applied linguistics. Um, art is truly in this era become accessible to the masses. And this is a wonderful thing because it is empowering, gives us a voice. It is a beautiful medium of expression, and it is truly therapeutic and healing. And the guests that we have today are going to share with us their journey with art, and I'm thrilled to introduce them to you today. Our first guest is Gulshan Kavarina, and she is an artist mentor and a creative coach for people of determination. She is also the founder of the Special Families Support Group, and she is also a mother of a young lady who is a person of determination. She has dedicated most of her adult life to serving the community, and her faith and in people of determination's ability to thrive and live a joyful, meaningful life is truly to be celebrated. And I hope we can all learn from her today. She is Asma Bakr and Abdullah Lutfi's mentor for more than a decade now. And she will be sharing with us her journey of becoming a mentor and how art has helped her students thrive. Thank you very much for being with us today. And because ladies go first, we're going to introduce Asma Bakr. She is truly a wonderful, accomplished young Emirati woman. She is an artist, she is a poet, she's a storyteller, and she's a motivational speaker. Asma's art is known for her Heart People collection, and she is also a wonderful poet and storyteller and motivational speaker. She has a very long list of accomplishments. I'm just going to share with you some of the highlights of her career so far. She was selected to be on the Special Olympics team to organize and deliver the opening and closing ceremonies. She wrote the song for the opening of the Special Olympics in 2019. She also recited a beautiful poem in front of 40,000 people. Not many of us can manage that. And she's also been featured on Humans of New York. Her post has been liked more than 300,000 times. And most recently, she has been shortlisted for the prestigious Megazoid Emerging Art Icon 2023. And these are just a few snippets of lots of the achievements that Asma has accomplished in her lifetime. And next, we have celebrated artist and autistic savant, Mr. Abdullah Lutfi. Thank you for being with us today. Abdullah's artwork has been featured in many, many places, and he is known for his black and white humorous artwork. He is he has been he has sold out solo exhibitions. He has fulfilled many commissions for banks and businesses and even the Dubai International Airport. You should go check out his 46-meter wall artwork. It's beautiful. And he's also been recognized and won many awards. Also, most recently, he's the winner of the Megazoid prestigious Emerging Art Icon of 2023. Thank you very much for being with us today. And I must mention that both Asma Bakr and Abdullah Lutfi are serving and representing the POD community through school visits and many events locally and internationally. Thank you very, very much for being with us this morning. I will give the floor to Gulshan, who will be facilitating this conversation. Thank you.
Thank you all for being here and good morning to all of you. So I'm just going to, we haven't practiced. We are just going to have a normal conversation with Abdullah and Asma. We do that every morning. And today we're just going to begin with Asma.
Hi.
Yeah. So, Asma, can you tell us a little bit about your childhood? How was your childhood?
My childhood was rough. I was bullied in school, so I practically became unsocial. And it was hard to communicate with people because of the hardships that I had. And it was very difficult to really communicate with everyone because of the way they treated me. So I tried to mask my autism, which I didn't know I have.
Asma, I'm going to stop you. Can you tell us what is masking? How are you masking
Okay,
it?
so masking is to hide your autism from people. So I was practically trying to act like normal people without me knowing that I had autism.
And did you feel different from your
So
friend?
the truth is, I did feel a little different, but it wasn't as difficult by trying to copy them. But that also made it even harder because I was trying to be like them and they still treated me differently, which I was ashamed of literally showing that I was different.
So they made you feel ashamed.
They made me feel ashamed. They made me feel small. It wasn't easy to fit in as it is right now.
Did you have even one friend?
I had one friend.
You had one.
I had one. I had six.
6 friends who understood.
I had
you?
6 friends who understood me. And because of them, I was protected from all the bullying. But as I grew older and went to university, um, they went to different universities. So I was alone again. And since I went to an all girls school, it was even harder because the university was men and women. So it was hard to communicate. And since I was really hard.
Okay, Asma,
Yeah.
going back to your childhood, how were the teachers with you?
To tell you the truth, it was not easy to communicate with the teachers either.
And did you go home and speak to your parents?
No, I never complained. I never tattletaled. I never even went to the principal whenever I was in trouble.
And did you think that
So-
was the right thing to do?
Thinking back, I don't think it was the right thing to do. But back then, because of bullying, I became unsocial and it was hard to communicate to anyone, even my parents. They would come and talk to me, but I would stay quiet the whole time.
And did you wish at that time that you had got professional help and seen a psychologist or seen a therapist?
I actually did see a psychologist when I was in kindergarten,
And
but that didn't help much.
it didn't help. But would you have preferred that your autism was known and then you would have gone to the right school? Or do you think mainstream was the right way to go for you?
Well, it would have been easier if I went to a mainstream school because if I didn't, I wouldn't have made my high school friends in the first place. So it was hard in the beginning, but starting from the 9th grade, going to the 12th, I made friends because of this one girl.
So can you just share about this one girl? Because I know the story, but it's nice to share it.
Yeah, so I was sitting alone under the sun, watching the kids play. And the next thing I know, there's a girl standing beside me saying, "Come play with us. We need you to come at least to join us." I ignored her, like I always do. And she didn't mind. What she did was forget about the other kids, came and sat with me and started to talk to me. And we started a friendship from there. And then her other friends came and joined us, and we became a group of 6.
And Abdullah?
Sorry.
It's okay. So we are going to talk about your childhood. Do you remember your childhood? Did you go to a mainstream school or did you go to a school for people with special needs?
I went to a mainstream school.
And how was your experience there?
It's It's okay. It's quite okay.
You had to change school, Abdullah.
Yeah, I had to change
So
school
why did you change schools?
because the first school was kind of rubbish because I had
And why was it so rubbish?
because I was bullied. Well, I was bullied a
So
lot
can you
when I
talk
was
about the bullying?
because every time when I was stimming, and then all the kids look at me and then they keep making fun of me for no reason.
So can you tell us about your stimming?
Stimming is like when some people are dreaming in their head and then they walk around in the rooms and then making noises and while they're looking at their hands dreaming and that is what it's called stimming.
So you're 30 years old now. Do
Yeah.
you still stim?
Only when I'm alone in my room.
So you're masking it.
Yeah, I'm masking it
Why?
because I don't want the people know I'm a biggest doofus in the world.
You're not. It's okay to stim, right? Ask all the parents. They'll all agree. It's fine.
Yeah.
Do you stim when you're around us?
No.
You don't?
No, I don't.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. But so you stim at home when you're by yourself?
Yeah.
You stim in the car?
With my driver, yes, but he doesn't mind.
He doesn't
know.
mind.
Yeah.
So most people don't mind the stimming. It's
Yeah.
all in your head,
Yeah.
right?
Right.
So it's okay.
Yeah.
You think it's okay to stim?
Yeah.
Yeah. Just be yourself.
Yeah, just be myself.
And how were your teachers when you were growing up? How were your teachers? Did they understand the stimming or did they ask you to stop?
No, they don't. They asked me to stop.
And when they asked you to stop, how did that make you feel?
I am not very sure how to describe this.
How did it make you feel? The stimming. I mean, the
makes me
teachers telling you to stop doing it.
It makes me feel like I'm a fool in this world.
And do you believe you're a fool?
No, but I just didn't want to do it in front of people. That's all I'm saying.
So you stopped doing it. And then did the bullying stop after that?
Yeah.
Did you ever hit somebody in school and say,
When
"Hey,
the guy
stop"?
well, but when they stopped touching, I hit somebody. Yeah.
And when you hit, what? Did you get into trouble?
No.
What happened?
They just nobody says anything. I just hit them when they bully me.
And then they stopped? Were
Yeah.
they scared of you?
Yeah.
Did you have any friends?
Like every time I beat them, they're still laughing like a dumb retards that they're. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to say that. Sorry, I didn't mean to say that.
Okay, but did you have any friends in school?
No.
Abdullah,
What?
the guys on social media getting in touch with you saying, "I'm your friend, I'm your friend." You did have friends.
Okay, so I did had friends, and then some of them had to go away out of country.
Yeah. So who was your best friend in school? If he's watching,
I'm not sure who's the friend now.
who was your
so-
friend from Australia?
Aaron.
Aaron was your best friend?
Yeah, he was a cool guy until he
And how was he cool?
he was cool, and then he's always like helpful with the guy, and he's cool. He's funny, by the way. Always making jokes, by the way. But until he moved back to Australia.
So did he accept you the way you were?
Yeah.
Did you stim in front of him?
No.
Or you were still masking?
Yeah. I was still masking.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so now we come back to Asma. So you went to university.
Yeah,
And how was your experience there?
difficult.
In what way?
Since I went to an all girls school, like I said, the university was mixed with boys and girls. And since I did learn to communicate with boys, it was difficult in the beginning. And I did go to university and I took psychology for the first time. And it wasn't in my interest. So I went to another university and took digital animation, which literally helped me with my art and helped me to follow a dream that I'm wishing would happen soon.
Thank you. And Abdullah, your mom says that you were non-verbal, so you were not able to speak when you were growing up.
Yeah. When I was
For-
little,
Yeah, when you were little. So how did you communicate?
by drawing.
Drawing what?
Drawing stuff on the cartoons and stuff like what I want.
So you just drew and and she followed you instructions and she just gave you then.
Yeah.
Do you remember that?
Well, yeah, supposedly.
And then she said you were an amazing young kid. You would love to watch videos.
Yeah,
So what were you watching in those days?
just Cartoon Network and also Disney when I was
Do you
little.
think Cartoon Network and Disney helped you as an adult, as an artist?
Well, yeah, but I usually watch alone because sometimes my parents just have notice.
But it's because of watching TV. So please let your kids watch TV.
Yeah,
It's fine.
even autistics should watch TV.
Even people on the autism spectrum should watch
And also, I play video games as well.
because it's really helped him. And
Yeah.
did manga and anime help you in any way?
Well, yeah, sort of.
It did, right?
Yeah, it did.
And Asma, were you a big fan of Disney and
I was a huge fan of Disney.
you
Yes,
still are?
still am, and still
Always
wish
will
to
be.
be working with them right now. Um, so I've been a fan of Disney since the very beginning, and it helped me get through the bad moments of my life. I would just sit, open the Disney movie, and start watching.
And it's
it
really helped you
literally helped me
because you
because
studied animation as well, right?
I did study animation, yes. And because of the studying of animation, I've been writing scripts that I don't show to people. Only my friends know about it. And we would just have fun reciting the characters and acting. It was just something I would love to do in the future. Maybe give it to one of those big studios and have it made into a movie that kids can understand.
Inshallah, it will happen.
I wish.
It will. It will. He's even clapping for you. It will happen. Yeah. So Asma,
Probably.
can we come to that time in your life when you just stopped communicating and you just totally like gave up?
Yeah.
Yeah, can you
that
just tell us about that?
So I lost my grandmother in the 5th of May, about a decade ago. And 10 days after, I lost my dad. So in the same year, same month, and that devastated me that I gave up for 6 years. I've been stuck in my room. I never came out. Even the food was put right beside the door. I would just go out, take my food inside, eat, and put it back out. I wouldn't go out at all. I wouldn't talk to anyone. My room was always closed. So for 6 years, I was in my room. For that decade, my brain was telling me, look what you did. You destroyed your family. So
And you kept blaming yourself for the death of your
I
grandmother
did.
and your
I
dad.
did.
And
So
why did you feel like that?
the reason I blame myself is because I was with my mom in London, where my dad was, and my grandmother was here in Dubai with the rest of the family. So when we got the call that my grandmother passed away, like, I should have been there. It's my fault she's gone. And then 10 days after, I figured that my dad died. And I was saying, because of his big connection with his mom, he just left me because it's my fault that his mom died. So I practically blamed myself for this whole ordeal. And my brain just started telling me that, look what you did. It's your fault. So I literally didn't want to hear that anymore, and I emptied my brain.
And did you at that time did you feel like just quitting? Did you feel like I wish I could just die? I what were you feeling?
I was feeling empty. There. I was beating myself, literally being myself.
Did you know at that time that this is depression and you're going through
I
depression?
had no idea. I
And-
was just
And you
literally
didn't speak to any professional or anybody.
no, nothing.
So you just stayed in your room.
I just stayed. And the reason I came out is because my sister dragged me out. Said, you have to come. I need to volunteer in this place. Unfortunately, when I went, that's where I met Gosha for the first time. She could tell you a little story about that.
Okay,
So-
so I was the art teacher at Mawahib, which is an art studio for adults with disabilities. I had 27 artists with determination at the time. And Asma walked in with her sister, with her head just looking at the floor, not able to speak. So I said, I don't have time. I'm just going to ask you a simple question. What is your name? If you can answer that, I will admit you. If you don't answer, then you're non-verbal and we can't accept you and you'll have to leave. I didn't know at that time that this is called flooding in psychology.
Flood.
It's flooding.
Okay.
And
I had no idea.
I just gave her literally like 2 seconds. Just give me your name. And if you say your name, you're in. And she said, my name is Asma. This is after 6 years, she spoke and she said, my name is Asma. I said, okay, you're in. We've accepted you. And the very next, 2, 3 days later, we had an art exhibition. And we had the TV crew from Arabic TV coming. And they said, can you speak to us? I said, I'd love to, but I don't speak Arabic. But she does. And she looked at me and she said, there's no way on earth I'm going to speak to a camera. I said, well, you are. And I stood behind the camera and I said, talk to me. And she was speaking in Arabic. I was just nodding my head. I had no clue what she was saying. And that was it. And then something magical happened in 2019, right?
I
You
was
want
there.
to share
was
that
too.
because it was amazing.
So we were in the community for the Special Olympics, and for the first time in front of 40,000 people of non-speaking for a whole of my childhood until I was, 20, whatever age, I talked in front of 40,000 people, not to mention the people watching on TV around the world, for the first time.
Can you tell us that moment when you stood on stage, because I was screaming so hard. I could
I was terrified, but I guess just having my friends there watching me and my mom was in the audience, I just spoke. The nervousness just disappeared and it was amazing.
So are you glad you came out of that depression?
If I didn't come out, I wouldn't be here talking to everyone. So yeah, I'm glad I came out of the depression big time.
Abdullah, have you ever had any signs of depression, or have you ever experienced anything like that in your life?
I am not sure, by the way.
Are you a people's person?
Hmm?
Are you a people's person? Do you like talking to people?
No, I'm not very sociable, by the way.
You weren't, but now, how are you?
Quite okay.
You go
guess.
to schools, you go to universities, you do it at corporate events.
I didn't go to university.
No, we go to universities and we talk there. You show them your art, right?
We
Right.
do workshops.
We do workshops there.
Yeah, I do
So
workshops.
how are you now talking to people?
Feels good.
Feels good?
Yeah.
You like when people are all listening to you. Look at that. Everyone's listening to you.
Yep. They sure are.
And you're a star.
Yep.
Yeah? It
Yeah.
feels good, right?
Yes, it does.
So now do you call yourself a not such a social person, or now you are a very sociable person?
Sociable person. Yeah.
You like it?
Yeah. Kind of.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What
Kind
kind of audience do you like?
Hmm?
What kind of, do you like, first you hated going to schools, especially where there were little kids, because you were so afraid of them.
No, I'm not because I was afraid of them, because I just don't like them.
But
Because
now how are you with little kids?
now it feels good.
Now it's good.
Yeah.
So the more you do it and the more you realize that it's not a big deal.
Sorry. Sorry, my bad.
Okay, so can you which moment has been your proudest moment? Hers was being there at the Special Olympics. What has your proudest moment been?
My proudest moment that I was being a finalist
Where?
in the Medina Jumeirah.
You weren't only the finalist, you were the winner.
Yeah,
That was recent, so it was a very recent thing.
yeah.
How did it make you feel?
It makes me feel like famous.
You're famous.
You
Yeah.
know what else I think was a big achievement for Abdullah was being on the video for the Expo 2020.
Exactly.
The
How did-
music video. He was in the music video.
Yeah. What was the name of that song?
Oh.
This is our time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you remember that? And
His
your
cartoons
and
literally
your
popped out.
caricatures came to life.
Yeah.
Have you all
That was-
watched it? The Expo song? And Abdullah is in it. And he was featured. He was very disappointed that he wasn't paid anything. But he became famous overnight, right?
It's not enough to have my money.
Okay, Abdullah, so now what do you do? Oh, you were in Mawahib. Let's talk about Mawahib. So when you came to Mawahib and you came from a mainstream school and you came to an art studio for adults with disabilities or adults uh, with special needs, how did that make you feel?
Adults
makes
with
me-
determination.
It feel like I'm an adult with a determination.
Can I go back to that 2010 when I first met you? You
Yeah.
said, I don't belong here. This is not my place. I'm not going to be here. You didn't want to talk to anybody. You didn't want to listen to anything I had to say, even though I was your teacher.
Yeah, that was way back.
Yeah,
But now I do.
but you weren't accepting of your autism at that time, right?
Yeah.
And then when I told you, but here there are all adults with disabilities, so you have one as well, and you have autism, and then you accepted yourself, right?
Right.
And then it was easier for you.
Mm-hmm.
Was it easier to be in mainstream school compared to Mawahib, or what was it? How was it different? Because you came from mainstream school.
Wahib is way better.
Mawahib was better.
Yeah.
Why?
Because there's all special needs like me.
And you felt you belonged there.
Yeah.
But everyone was on a different level. So did you think, oh my God, I'm the smartest guy here?
Yeah.
Did you feel like that? I think you did,
Yeah.
right?
Right.
And you were looking down at everyone else.
Yeah.
Why?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure.
But you found yourself in Mawahib, right?
Yeah.
And so let me just say, because I was his teacher, and he looked at me the first day and he said, can you get your fat ass out of this room?
I did not say that.
You did. And I said, oh my God, how am I even going to deal with this guy? Because he's a big guy. I'm 5'1". He's 6 feet tall, 6 plus. And I was afraid. I have a background in art. I didn't have a background in special ed or. So I was afraid of Abdullah. And then one day I just stood up to him and I said, don't you dare talk to me like that. And that was it. And he said, I'm sorry, I didn't want to. And, he just changed. And all he did was copy manga and anime characters.
Characters.
And I said, this is, what did I tell you?
Not acceptable for no reason.
And I said, it's not acceptable. This is plagiarism. You cannot only copy stuff.
Not everything has to be plagiarism,
And I said, you're an Emirati, can you draw an Emirati man and a woman? And then he drew these absolutely cute characters. And that was it. No, you can't.
No.
And then you went to Washington for what? Both
Then
of you went
and
to
then we
Washington.
went to the Washington for the Smithsonian.
Smithsonian Folklife Festival.
Yes.
Were you invited
We
there?
were.
Yes. To
Okay.
do a live art there and outside. It's exciting.
And then
It's really-
recently, where were you? In April, where did you go?
That was fun.
me.
Yeah.
And in April, we traveled to Los Angeles.
And again, were you invited?
Yeah.
For what?
For the Autism Speaks.
And what did you do there?
We showcase our art of the tote bags and merchandise artwork, so all the customers loved it.
And you launched your book there, but we're going to have a big launch here.
Yep, we're gonna have
Yeah.
a big launch here.
And how does it make you feel that so many people, all having someone in their life with autism, loved your book? How does that make you feel?
It makes me feel I'm well known in the world.
Is that what you want?
Well, yeah.
Okay. World famous.
Yeah, world famous.
Okay. And Asma, can you share your experiences? You've also traveled.
I've also traveled to Washington
And
and Los Angeles. At Washington, we did some workshops for
at the
the
festival.
people coming to visit the festival. And we also had the talk. And
Was it well received, your workshops?
the workshops were well received very much. So in Los Angeles, I was on a panel in Autism Speaks
With who?
with 3 other people with determination. And even though I didn't have any help growing up, I learned that even though I have autism, I shouldn't mask it as much as I should. No, as much as I shouldn't. So I didn't want to mask my autism anymore. I'm just glad that I figured out I had it. And to tell you the truth, I'm just glad I finally found out that I did have it. Because
At what
without,
age did you find out?
I found out at the age of 29.
And when you found out, was it a relief or were you sad that
I wasn't sad and I wasn't relief. I was shocked in the beginning. But then I figured out because of this autism, I have such a wonderful gift.
and did you know about autism at that time? Did you
Yeah.
had you heard the name?
I heard the name a couple of times from my mom.
With you, telling you that you have it?
No, she told my brothers that they had it.
So can you just share? You are one of how many siblings?
I am one of 7 siblings, and 3 of us have autism. Me and 2 of my younger brothers.
And is it looked down upon in your family that 3 of you have autism, or
No,
are you just accepted as?
it is a lot. It's just accepted. So we're not the only 3 with autism. There's a cousin who lives beside us about a minute away. He also has autism.
And how does your mother, because I know some of you have just one child, some of you have twins, and in her house there are 3. So how does your mom, how is she, because I know you're really close to your mom,
Yeah.
and she accepts you the way you are. She never pushes you.
No.
So can you just share your journey with your mom?
So, like I said, I was on social, but my mom didn't mind. She would always play with me, color with me, watch TV with me. She would just say, Esma, come join us, sit with us. We're going to do puzzles. We're going to do something, coloring. We're going to watch a movie. And she doesn't say, why don't you do this? Why don't you do that? She doesn't push me around like,
Like me.
no, well, yeah, but again, you're my mentor, so you practically helped me. My mother was just a free-spirited person who wants her kids to do whatever they want to. And while she does that, she joins us. So it makes us feel like this is our mom. She's always there for us. She always watches over us. And she lets us go out and have fun. So we can learn to communicate with other people, even when we are not with our mother. So we're practically free to do what we want.
That's really beautiful. And thanks for sharing that. Abdullah, can you tell us about your mom? Your mom's name is Amal.
Yeah.
Is she fun?
Yeah, she's fun.
So can you share? Does your mom try and change you? Does your mom say, "Hey, stop that, Abdullah, stop stimming"? Does she do all that with you, or she
No.
just lets you be?
She just lets me be.
And does she accept you the way you are?
Yeah.
Does she love you the way you are?
Yeah.
Can you share a little bit more about your mom?
Well, my mom is really good and she helps me live my life as an artist. And then she's good. She helps me around and helps me with my clothes and everything in that. And that's why I love my mom.
That's really sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah? I hope your mom's listening, Amal.
Yeah.
Tell your mom how much you love her.
Really.
Yeah.
That's why I love my mom.
And you too.
So
Can you just look at the camera and tell your mom that how much you love her?
Mom, I love you a million times to the sky with the stars. You're the brightest star in the sky. I love you.
That's sweet. Yeah, because there's so many moms here and they wish their kids would say the same thing to them. And one day they will.
One day they will.
Okay,
was
look
hard
in
for
the
me.
camera. Look. Abdullah, stop with that. Can you look in the camera and speak to your mom?
Hey, Mom. So I just wanted you to say that you've been a great mother and I love you so much for helping me around the house
And with your life.
and with my life.
Yeah. Yeah? Okay, so what this is what I go through every single day.
And this is what
I go through.
this is
I
what
go through.
and this is what bothers me every single day.
Okay, so what happened in 2020? Besides the pandemic, we know about the pandemic, but what happened with your lives?
So we were always on Zoom most of the time.
With Mawahib?
Yeah, we were
Yeah,
on Zoom with
we were in-
Mawahib.
yeah.
Yeah, every hour.
Hmm?
Sometimes more, sometimes less.
Yeah, about 2-3 times a week we were on Zoom.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and the rest of the days we would just,
And then Mawahib shut down, right?
it shut down.
But it's reopened now. So please go back and have a look. It's amazing. It's an
So-
amazing place. But what happened with the two of you?
It shut down, and me and Abdullah, we opened our own company. It's called Next. It was called Abdullah and Asma's Art Studio, but that name was a bit too much, so we changed it to Next Chapter. Thanks to his daughter Janai.
Next chapter is the name. And where is the next chapter?
And the next chapter is in Al Fahidi Basakiya, right?
Al Fahidi
Al
Historical
Fahidi
Neighborhood.
Historical Neighborhood, exactly.
Abdullah, where is it?
Where is what?
Where is your next chapter?
The next chapter is at the Al Fahidi Bastakia Villa 10
In Tashkil.
in Tashkil.
Yeah.
And please, if you have time, you can come and visit us. We're open from Monday to Thursday, 9 to 2.
And what happens on Fridays? Why you shut on Fridays? It was their decision. They said we do not work on Fridays.
We don't.
So we
work
have
on-
3 days off.
First of all, Friday is all and I can invite my friends over to come and join me every Friday.
So it's hangout day.
Yeah, Saturday is family day.
And
we-
Sunday is rest
And
day.
Sunday is a rest day, or maybe sometimes I go out with my
So I just want to share with you when Asma came, there was another girl called Mariam, a woman. And I had a feeling, gut feeling or whatever, that Mariam and Asma could become best of friends. But now they didn't know what it was to make small talk, and they'd never been with an actual friend. They didn't know what do we go when we go to the mall, what are we supposed to do? They didn't have a clue. So I said, you know what? I need to buy a bag. Bless you.
Thank you.
So we went to all the high-end stores, and each bag was 25,000, 30,000. And she said, just buy it. You've come here to buy a bag, right? I said, no, I can't afford 35,000 dirhams for a bag. So she said, but I'll buy it for you. I said, no, that's not what we are here for. We're here to do window shopping. And she had never done window shopping in her life. If she likes something, she just buys it. So then Mariam and Asma went around all the stores. We went to MAC, we tried out makeup, and we went to what is there? Some cafe. We ordered food, and I said, "This is what you need to be doing." And we did it a couple of times, and then they got used to one another, and then I took a back seat, and the two of them were doing it, and now they have a whole group of friends, and they hang out every Friday.
Where for?
Four of you. Yeah. And they're really close. Abdullah hangs out with them sometimes. But he has his own hangout. Where do you hang out?
In the other cousin's house.
And what do you do with your cousins?
We just play video games and watch funny videos and drive around quad bikes and off roads. That's what I usually do in the weekends.
And that's why you never take a commission on a weekend, right?
Yes.
And do I give you commission on weekend?
No.
Exactly.
I decide whether I do it or not. It really counts on the
Asma,
situation.
how do you see yourself today? You see yourself as a strong, independent woman? Doing what?
I just love to write.
So have you written anything?
I've written a poem book,
Has it been published?
and the poem book has been published. Yes. There's also a bookmark that comes free with it, and then there is the Heart People coloring.
So can you just share a little bit about your Heart People collection?
So my Heart People collection is a collection of how I wish the families around the world would be with their determined families, and also about love and trusting your heart, because the heart knows the truth about your life.
What's your most famous thing that you share with the world? What do you keep telling everyone to do?
I keep telling everyone to empty their minds, close their eyes, and just listen to their heart. Most wonderful thing in the world. You would feel very relieved.
Yeah, you can try it now.
Oh, not again.
Empty your mind, close your eyes, and just listen to the rhythm of your heart. Because that's what she does, and that's why she gets all her strength. And today she's not nervous to speak to people. You can give her 5,000 people, it's not a big deal, right?
I talked to probably 40,000 people, so
Exactly.
it's practically not a big deal at all,
And featured in Humans of New York.
with a lot of other compliments.
Yeah, that was amazing.
Most amazing thing in the
So
world.
many people's dream, and you already have it, right?
That's true.
Abdullah, do you want to share something? Can you just tell them what we do at the studio on a given day? And who
Day?
works on any given day at the studio? What do we do?
Well, I'm not sure what given
Okay,
day
so
is.
when you get a commission, how do you go about it?
Well, money.
Okay, so someone comes and says, I want Abdullah to design a packaging for me.
Sure, and I would do that.
So how do
And
you
it's
do
gonna-
it? How do you do it?
Well, they usually gives us a brief and then what to add, and then I just do it. Any briefs, like how many briefs that they told us what to write?
Are you cheap or are you really expensive?
I'm really expensive.
You are.
Yeah.
So for one image
Yeah.
on the iPad that you do you know how much it costs?
It's gonna cost more.
10,000 dirhams.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how much it costs.
Yeah, that's
And
right.
do you think you're totally worth it?
Yes.
And people should pay you that money?
Yeah.
Yeah. And who supports you? Who supports you?
You,
Me and
you and my family,
and
and my colleague,
who?
Zara,
And who else?
Anju.
And Anju comes and volunteers with us every single day. And we're so lucky to have amazing team that we are. It's a small team, but the output is a lot. Yeah. We do a lot of work.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, we do.
Okay. So now we are going to have the platform for you. If you would like to
Ask any questions.
ask any questions.
Thank you so much for sharing with us these wonderful experiences. I was just wondering, you mentioned a story about when you first met Abdullah, and he loved drawing manga characters and so on, and you want to try to move him from that to developing his own style and his own drawings. Was he resistant? How did you overcome that? Because I myself experienced this with my son too. So I was wondering how you can push. How did you manage to push him to think of his own style and his own collection?
So we started with really small steps. You know, like I said, you are Emirati.
Right.
Draw an Emirati man, draw an Emirati woman. Then what do you see around you?
Was he on board with that immediately, or did you have to
Immediately.
actually? Really?
No.
Okay. Okay.
You know, it's easy for him to draw. He can draw anything under
Yeah.
the sun. I have studied art. I am not even close to
Mhm.
where he is. He's right up there.
Yeah.
You know, he's really a
In
savant.
terms of technique, you mean? So
Yeah.
like he's there, but yeah.
He can just draw anything.
Yeah.
His observation is so good, and you know he's my teacher. He teaches me. Both of them do.
Actually,
You
you
know?
teach me.
I teach you,
Yeah.
but you teach me. I teach you life skills, but you teach me what life is all about.
Yeah.
This is beautiful.
I
Yeah.
learn so much from both of you. Really.
Thanks. Yeah.
Abdullah, huh?
We learn from the people. The people learn from us.
True.
So, as I say, teacher be taught.
Yes.
And when you learn something, you must teach it. You know,
Yes.
as soon as you learn something, share it with the world. So that's what.
I so relate to what you just said because I feel like I'm not the only one who's teaching my son in this relationship. He's been my greatest teacher of all, you know, so, and I mean that wholeheartedly. I've changed a lot as a person, only to the better and because of him. So I credit that a lot to him. And I was wondering, Abdullah, I wanted to ask you a question about, you mentioned that you love Japanese art.
Yes, I
And
do.
you love anime. What's your favorite anime movie?
One Piece.
One Piece.
Mine
Okay.
too.
Mine is Howl's Moving Castle. Do you like that?
Oh, I love that one.
No, I love that one too. I was wondering, does it any way affect your artistic style?
Yeah.
Does it affect it?
Yes.
In what way?
Hmm?
How does it affect it?
Manga. It's just did. That's all.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
how did you get that idea of making your drawings humorous, like adding text and thinking like this is, you know, making a joke or something about that with the drawing? How did that come?
The words and that I got it from that autistic quotes like that from the
Okay.
Pinterest.
How did you come up with it? You
The
know,
idea,
because
yeah, did it come
From
so-
watching cartoons and
Yeah.
from watching cartoons, animes, and video games.
and he talks to himself,
Yeah,
and it's allowed.
right.
And so I would pick it up and I would say, put it,
Yeah.
you know, put it in a book and talk about it, you know, in a, what do you call the speech bubbles.
So
Speech
you
bubbles.
encouraged him. Like,
Yeah.
why don't you add that? to
Add
your
that
drawing?
because
Yeah.
you're anyway saying it,
Yes.
you know, so share it.
Do you stim while you're working, Abdullah?
Hmm?
Do you stim while you're drawing?
Yeah. Yeah, that's right.
It doesn't interrupt your work. You feel like it comes with it, right? Because you sit for a long time working
Yeah.
on your artwork. Yeah.
Yeah.
What interrupts your work?
What interrupts my
He
work?
hates Bollywood music.
He was what?
He
Mus-
hates
mu-
Bollywood music.
Oh.
So if that is playing, it's a no. He won't work.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
Do you like to work in a quiet room? Or?
Yes, I prefer working quietly other than with music.
And you don't like people talking to you while you're drawing, or is that okay?
I don't like it when people talk to me
Yeah.
while I'm drawing.
Even though I do.
You do? Do you
And I
work?
do.
Do you work next to each other, beside each other in the? Are you
Uh,
sharing
we're
the same
facing-
space?
yeah.
And how about you? Do you like the environment to be in a
So
specific way?
I love the environment, but I also like really soft music.
Classical music.
Yeah. Whenever I listen to those classical music, I can work even harder than I usually do. Sometimes I just sit around and read a book.
Mm. What do you enjoy
Actually,
doing the
most
most?
of
Do you
the
like writing your poetry or drawing more, or it doesn't matter? Like you spread out equal time for all of these creative outlets.
It really counts on the time and the space.
Right.
Or being a motivational speaker.
Yeah, that's easy. I can do that anywhere.
That's easy. Not for
good for
most
you,
people.
not for
It's
everybody.
not.
Well, it wasn't easy before.
Yeah.
I just got used to it after
With
talking in front of.
practice. Do you prepare yourself in any specific way for a speaking event, or not really?
Sometimes, but most of the time I just
Yeah, we just do
It
it.
just comes out. Yeah, that's great. Okay, thank you so
It's
much.
so much more natural when it's not prepared.
Yeah.
And we speak from the heart, right?
Yeah.
What did I just say?
Say what?
That it's natural to just speak from your heart.
Yeah.
Yeah? Or you like it to be written down and you like to read and you like it
sometimes
that
I
way?
just zone
Well,
out.
sometimes I just don't memorize right. Yeah.
Does it help you to prepare yourself, like what the ideas you want to say before you have to say them? Does that help you? Make it easier for you?
Yeah. With the writing and then the script. Yeah.
Do you see yourself living independently?
Good
Yes.
question.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Maybe
Because that's a lot of parents fear what's going to happen to our
Yeah.
kids after us.
Not my mom.
What about you? What do
But-
you think you need to do to be ready for living alone?
Really, if the parents can be letting their kids have a little freedom, or maybe teens on the spectrum, just to go out with their friends, enjoy the movies, have fun. Not too much fun, not too much freedom, but still have fun. Then maybe they could grow up to be independent. You never know.
Yeah.
So when we went to America, when we went to Washington, she had never stayed in a room by herself, and nor had he. And we said, we are not sharing rooms.
Hmm.
So you'll have to figure it out. And they said, but we don't even know how to, what do we do with our clothes? I said, put it in the wardrobe. And, so we broke everything down to them. We just made it simpler. And they just did it. And I said, 9 o'clock is breakfast time, be there, or no breakfast. You choose whatever you want. They were there at 9.
So
And we didn't send reminders, where are you, what are you
I
doing?
wanted to
No,
ask
no.
about that. When you go about your day, Abdullah and Asma, do you feel like you need someone to help you remember what you need to do, or are you okay? You can organize your time.
We
independently
can
somewhat?
we can
You can.
organize. We can organize.
But they weren't like that.
That's my question.
No, we
Yeah.
weren't.
How
I
do
used
you
to
help them
have
with that?
I used to have someone wake me up at a specific time,
Yeah.
and
And we said, we're not calling you in the morning and saying, are you awake? Have
Okay.
you showered? We're not doing any of that.
No.
You, yeah. When we
So,
travel. with-
what were the things that helped you help teach them, or maybe help them learn how to?
I think
plan
it's
organization?
trusting them.
Right.
When you trust them, they start,
And, see
and
what
when you
happens,
believe in
yeah.
them, they
Mm.
start believing in themselves.
Mhm.
So, it's just when you trust them, like when we went to LA, we said we are not going to Universal Studios. Zara accompanied us as well. And we said we are not going to Universal Studio. We have other things to do. We're going to shop. So the two of them wanted to go. They had to figure out, they had to call an Uber by themselves.
Right.
They made the plan. They had VIP tour guide,
Right.
which they found on net. They did everything. And they went and they loved it. And they shopped like crazy. But it's, their wish.
Yeah.
So we weren't there telling them, don't do this or don't do
Right.
that. And, I'm vegetarian.
Okay.
And the first few days we had burgers every single day for breakfast. I mean, for lunch and dinner. I said, I'm not getting anything to eat. So I was really mad at them, and I sent them a nasty message on. And I said, you're just selfish, just thinking about yourselves and don't care about anyone else. And then they messaged me in the night. Abdullah called me. Please tell me you've not gone to sleep hungry. I said, no, I wouldn't do that. I have eaten. And Asma didn't sleep the whole night because she was upset that I was so upset. But that was just one day.
Yeah.
And the following days, it was, is there anything on the menu that's vegetarian? We have to take care. It was not for me, but for the next person that will accompany them. And they have to think of everybody and not only about themselves. Because I do feel a lot of people on the autism spectrum tend to be thinking only about themselves.
Yeah.
So when you bring it up, and I made a big fuss about it, and they're amazing. Now wherever we go, they see to it that there's some
Your
vegetarian
vegetarian
options,
option. That's very nice.
right?
Right.
Did you feel really bad that day when I
Yeah.
walked away?
Yeah.
Oh,
I was practically with it
because
seriously.
you should teach your lesson.
I feel sometimes that we misunderstand how much our children actually feel lots of empathy for. I mean, they do care about our feelings, even if they don't understand how you're feeling in the moment. And I know that for my son, he cares a lot about, my feelings a lot, which I'm very blessed to see that he can communicate that to me. I was wondering about any sensory issues. Is there anything that bothers you? And like, for example, loud noises, certain lights or anything like that that might disrupt you, like, or bother you in a public place?
Heights.
Heights. Well, I
Ask
don't like heights
question.
either. Yeah.
Ask question. No, literally, I would just freeze in my spot.
Yeah.
I wouldn't move.
Yeah.
The other one who was moving was
Yeah.
Goshen. I was literally just grabbing her. I was squeezing
And
her.
I was grabbing and pulling her towards the edge.
You want her to go?
I wouldn't move to the edge. I would
And then
just
they touched the edge and they said, okay, we've come this far. I said, okay, that's far enough. Good.
It's very clear to us that you believe in the loving push. You like to push them lovingly so that they can believe in themselves and their ability to handle their own life.
Because they're not experienced
Yes,
it. So
absolutely.
why we, like in Mawahib, when Abdullah had just joined and he would shut his ears and he'd say, turn down the music. I don't want anyone to play music. And I said, life doesn't revolve around you. So when you go to a mall, they're going to play loud music, and then you're going to go like this and say, turn down the music. So you just get used to it. What can you do? So he said, if I wear my own earphones,
That's what my son does, and it works for him.
so he found that out himself, and then he uses it
Yeah.
now
Yes.
instead of sitting like
Tolerance,
this, and
yeah.
because world does not cater to your needs.
There is also another fear. I'm scared of the dark.
The dark.
Also that.
Whenever the lights are closed, I would just scream or run away.
Do you turn on your night lights when you go to sleep?
I do.
Yeah.
I do.
It's the
sometimes
solution.
sometimes I just
Yeah.
leave the lights on.
Oh, really? Okay.
And
There's one thing that I have asked. I have spoken to Abdullah about it.
Mm-hmm.
That whenever you die and you come back in the next life, would you want to be a person who has autism, or do you want to come without your autism?
And what did you say, Abdullah?
Huh?
Pay attention.
What?
If whenever you die and you come back in the next life, would you want to be a person with autism or without autism?
With autism,
And why?
because it's fun for me.
It's fun. And we keep wanting them to come into our world.
Yeah.
But why don't we just get into their world? It's a beautiful world.
is. It sure is.
Yeah. And we should stop, all of us should stop trying to pull them into our world, right?
Right.
And go into their world and swim with them and just enjoy with them. Is that what you want?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, that's right.
And your cousins just have fun with you.
Uh-huh.
And are they all making fun of you, or you're just having fun with them?
Just having fun with them.
Yeah. So you understand the difference, right?
Yes.
Does anyone have any other questions? Yes, please.
Well, it's my first time here, so I'm loving this, loving the energy. Thank you, Farah, for organizing this, and Goshen as well. The interesting thing here is I grew up with a brother on the spectrum. So I remember advocating for him from the age of, I would say, 10, because that was what the gap was, and that's when we found out about his diagnosis. And I remember growing up embarrassed of having a brother because I was a very social person, and so were my parents. We were cut off from a lot of things because people would laugh at my brother, and that would embarrass us. And I would actually lie to new friends that, oh, my brother goes to this school, even though he never went to those mainstream schools. But that's how it was. I was embarrassed. So when my first child was born with autism, I was literally reliving all of that, that, oh my God, I'm going to be cut out from any other. I mean, I thought I was out of it. I'm married, I've moved on, but apparently I haven't moved on. The trauma was still there. So moving on, I've got 4 kids now. My oldest is on the spectrum. So for us, it's been a conscious parenting style that the rest of my children should not be embarrassed of their brother the way I was.
And they're not. I met them.
Yes, so that has been our driving force. So more than focusing on my older child on the spectrum, my focus has been on those 3 kids who've come after him to make sure that they are comfortable and proud of their brother. And I
They are.
think yes, and you've seen that. So they drop their brother to school, they do things for him, they introduce him to their friends that he has autism, and they explain what my 8-year-old explains what stimming is, why he does what he does. This is his sensitivities. So I think for me, that's been my journey. My other 3 kids more than my child on the spectrum, to be honest. So
And you've done a fantastic. You and your husband. I met your husband.
Yeah,
It-
amazing.
And amazing. It's really truly an amazing journey. And I am blessed with a fantastic husband as well, who loves Zara and just does things. Now I have stopped lifting her, and because I can't, but he still does it, and he does it with so much love. He's 63 years old. He still carries her on the back. I said, "Your back's gonna go. Your back's gonna go," and it did. And he's complaining of back pain, and he said, "I'm wondering why is my back hurting so much?" I said, "Because you carry her on your back." He said, "Oh, no, 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 that's not the reason." So he still doesn't believe
It's
that.
your own beautiful world. I think in this whole world, you have this family, your husband, your wife, goes hand in hand. Like you support each other.
Okay, no.
We can take one more question before we move to our little brief drawing lesson and go through this wonderful event. Does anyone else?
Okay, so once again, thank you so much. My wish is, can all the people in this world have the opportunity to listen or to hear what we just heard? Because there are so much misunderstanding, misconception on people who are on the spectrum, and that's why most of them are being excluded, and that's why most of their rights are not being respected. So my wish is like, how can we get this kind of forum to be accessible to the world?
Invite us, we'll keep coming.
It's so much important. I have a son also on the spectrum, and when I'm hearing Abdallah, Asma, it gives us so much hope and gives us so much strength to continue to fight, to be that voice that they don't have. And so just thank you, Farah. I mean, I'm loving it. I'm loving it. I just have a question for Abdullah, because you said you were nonverbal and at some point you started to talk. I wanted to know what was how was that transition from being nonverbal to verbal? Was it something in you that just pushed you and be like, oh, I'm going to talk? The reason why I'm saying that is one day I asked my son, I know you have words, I know you can pronounce some words, but why don't you talk? I'm not trying to pressure you, but why don't you do it? He just told me, not now. So I want to understand if it's something maybe that when you were on your nonverbal phase to the verbal one, was it something stopping you, or what was the progress?
Why do you think you were not able to speak?
Because I was born differently.
So I think he was 5 when he started to talk. So I don't think he remembers too much of that time. And as you notice, again, the accent has come because he's watching an animation, and so he has an American accent because he watches American shows. So if your kids are watching TV, please let them. It's not a bad thing. I know they keep saying screen time, less in it, but look what it's done to both of them. It's really helped them. They've got the language from there. They've got the accent from there. You know, he comes, and when he's stimming and he's talking about some thing that he's watched on TV, and I say, "What did you just watch?" And he shares it, and and he relates that to real life. So it's amazing what comes out of TV. I'm a big TV fan as well. I love watching.
I would just zone out to that movie place.
And he goes by himself. He drives. She drives. You know, they're both independent people. And yeah,
What age did you learn to drive? 18?
Yeah.
Yeah. Was it difficult for you to learn how to drive, or is it just fine?
I failed twice because
yeah.
the teacher was a kid. She was
I
screaming.
blame the teacher always.
Anyway, she was yelling, and
Yeah.
I started to get.
Made you anxious.
It made me anxious, and then they got me another trainer,
Mm.
and she was calm. She understood. She was nice. She was talking to me while I was driving, but in a nice way, which made me feel comfortable, and I finally passed.
When you're driving, do you feel like you need to focus a lot on the road, or is it okay if somebody talks to you while you're driving? Some I believe autistic adults would prefer like to have the full attention. It's hard for them.
I would watch the road,
Yeah.
yes,
Yeah.
but
Thank God.
Yeah. But do you mind
But-
people talking to you while you're driving? Is that okay?
I wouldn't mind,
Yeah.
no. But as long as some soft music is playing and
Okay.
someone is talking to me, it's fine.
How about you, Abdullah? Do you mind people talking to you while you're driving? That doesn't matter?
Well, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But when the phone rings,
Yeah.
Well, when the phone rings,
I
it's
don't pick
hard.
it
It's
up.
hard. Do you
But,
pick up? What do you do?
No, I put my phone on silent.
Probably best.
Yeah.
And what do you call those guys who come and cut you?
Ugh.
Cutters.
Sure. I think the reason
I hate
that we're all asking
things
these very
happening.
detailed questions is because we're trying to imagine our children when they become adults, what it's going to be like for them, you know, even though everyone is different, especially on the spectrum, you can't tell.
Yeah.
But we just like to kind of imagine what it would be like and what we could do to help them, you know, to prepare for adulthood. So thank you so much for sharing all
If
this.
there's
You're
one
welcome.
last advice, what would you give the parents? What advice would you give them with their kids with special needs?
The kids with special needs.
What do you want them to
Please accept them the way for.
tell them?
I just want to say to you, parents, please accept your children for the way they are, even if they're born differently. But just be happy with them and live in their world and just accept them
And respect them.
and respect them.
Asma, what's your advice to the parents?
I would say the same thing as Abdullah did. But you have to understand that autism is a gift to love, to celebrate. But it's not a curse to hate. What they want is for you to accept them and go to their world and understand them.